you've got a couple other kids. Walter Neal, what have been your early impressions of him? And how's it been your son?
What a competitor. I so enjoy Walter. He's going to play a lot for us, whether it's at corner or nickel. Understands the game so well. I've been really impressed with him, learning a new system and almost having it down pat so quickly. He's a really football-savvy, smart kid.
And then maybe a kid that hasn't seen as much playing time, like Daryl Patterson.
Yeah, Daryl, another kid that came out of his shell this spring, and I'm excited about because I think he's going to add some value to us, whether it's on special teams or playing every down on defense. It's just confidence for him, and a corner position is tough. You have to play with great confidence, and having Van Malone coach those guys are going to be ready to go and be well coached.
Of course, I know you're probably intently focused on the here and now, but as you've been inside the walls that Bill Snyder literally built, have you been able to dissect at all, sort of see fingerprints of how he did it? I mean, you mentioned earlier today, he's not just synonymous with K-State, but with college football. Have you been able to sort of dig around and see that a little bit yet?
No, I haven't, but I also followed him for so many years that just the meticulous detail in everything he did, from a practice plan to what a pregame meal was to everything, and I so admire guys like that stick with a plan, and I don't care what anybody says, from a media person to another colleague to somebody else, I'm going to stick with my plan, and he knew that. I played there his first game in 1989. I was a junior at Northern Iowa. We beat them, and there was nobody there. But he didn't care. He was going to stick with the plan, and that's something that I will for sure take with me, is that hey, we're going to have some growing pains. I understand that, but I'm going to stick with the plan that I know has been successful for us.
Two players that signed in the past few months, Kenny Givens and Jacardia Wright. Is there an update on when they might make it?
Still waiting on that update. We don't have an answer yet.
Do you, the fact that you mentioned Kleinman on the staff, and there's some coaches that come in and I'm not saying they want to whitewash the past, but they might not want it as close. Is that obviously you've hired guys with a thought on that, but was that a conscious decision for you, Bruce?
Well, he's the only one I had met prior to interviewing. I interviewed everybody when I came in between the semifinal and the championship, but he's the only one I had met previous. And I had one of those guys that just stuck out at me when I met him as an assistant coach when he was in Northern Iowa for a year. And so when I interviewed him, and then I spent 2 days with him on the road after a semifinal game, I said, that's a guy that I would want to have coach my son. And that's the biggest answer for me, because I've got a junior in college and a sophomore in high school. Boy, if I'd want him to coach my son, it was a no-brainer for me.
Is that beyond him, having past players around? Those sorts of things you're making efforts or
Yeah, we have to get the former players back. I want them to come and experience practice. I want them to come and visit with the team. That was a big part of the success at North Dakota State was, we're playing for the guys who put the jersey on before us. I want to get those guys back, and it's one of those things where, I want to do that, and there's so many other things I want to do. We've got to kind of get a pecking order, but we've expressed that they're very welcome at our place.
Chris, back in 2013 when Craig was preparing to leave for Wyoming, was there an opportunity for you to go with him?
Yeah, I was pretty much set to go, and then I contacted Gene and just said, hey, I'm interested if there's an interest in me. If not, I'll go be with Craig and be the DC. And he said, yeah, I'm definitely interested in interviewing you. And I interviewed for the job. He wasn't handed to me. I interviewed for the job, and he offered me the job late one night after we sat for about 4 or 5 hours after a playoff game. And I knew I wanted to be a head coach, and I believed I was ready to be a head coach. And so I'm very fortunate and blessed that Gene was able to take a chance on me.
Do you ever think of the path less taken?
No, I'm once again, I'm a be where your feet are type guy. So you know what? Shoot, I enjoyed everything that has happened to me, and I wouldn't change anything in my professional career.
I would imagine